So it's not always the dinosaur that you want or the dinosaur that you need, but it's the dinosaur that's there. So, yep, we're gonna do that today. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm the dad who plays things, and if you're listening closely, you hear the music playing right behind me because what do we have here? That's our 140 Carno that we're gonna tame, not because we need it, not because we want it, but because it was there. We were doing some basic exploring, and so I figured, you know what? It's hard to pass up at least a good kibble egg laying dino, so we're gonna shoot some arrows into this Carno. We're gonna make it ours, and then after that, who knows? We may go out and see if we can't find us a Thyla, a Megatherium, maybe another Uteranus, so we'll just kind of wait and see. We got ourselves, in the last episode, if you were paying attention, if you were watching, we got ourselves our northern outpost constructed up by the blue obelisk, and so we're going to have to do something with that. We're going to have to maybe spend a little more time in the northern biome, but to do that, I want to get another... there we go. I want to get another Uteranus. I want to get a, a breeding pair. I want to get one that is bred and imprinted. So I'm looking for a much better male Uteranus. We are not going to kibble tame this Carno. We are going to prime meat tame this Carno because I'm not wasting kibble on a dino that I don't really care about. But that's, I think, what we're going to do today. So we're going to feed this Carno, we're going to get it to wake up, and then we'll keep going on with our business. In fact, we may just leave you here. What are you, a female? See, my problem with the Carnos is that they're... early game, if you're just running around on feet, these things are so overpowered and will come and take you out. It's like, it is so... I don't know. It strikes fear into the heart of survivors everywhere when they hear that clunk, 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 that sound of the Carno running towards you. But you get yourself on a dino that can do any kind of damage. These guys have terrible health, even for a 140. This one has 2,500 base health, and they just don't do that much damage outside of their bleed attack. So they're really not a very useful tame for really anything in my book. If you've got something that you like to use Carnos for, go ahead and drop that in the comments, because I have yet to find that thing that a Carno is really good at, except for, oh, I get lucky and find one early game and ride around on it, maybe on Aberration or something, where I don't die to everything trying to kill me. So if you have a use for a Carno outside of kibble, go ahead and drop that in the comments, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm gonna drop off some gear. We are going to drop this sword that I don't really care about right there. In my opinion, the industrial grinder, while it may cost a lot to make, it's really, really easy to get all that back, especially if you've been collecting loot for a little while. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and do what it takes to farm up everything you need to make an industrial grinder, because you get so much back, especially when you have a lot of gear that you're never going to use. You can grind it up, get rid of it, deal with it, and you got a lot of resources that you otherwise would not have. So yeah, definitely do that. I held off for a long time before I made one, because I thought, oh man, that thing's so expensive, I don't see a use for it. But the first time I built one, I was like, oh man, that's actually really useful. So definitely it's something that I do pretty regularly now, because I find them to be very, very handy to have. Okay, what happened with these stats? I'm just curious, because didn't I say that she had a, oh no, what were her pre-tame stats? Did she not get a single bump in health? That's weird. Well, regardless, you're an egg layer. That's all you are. All right, now we get on to business and do something a lot more fun than taming a, well, what do we have here? We've got free metal, free element dust, free oil, and free electronics. That's what we've got here. Oh, except my inventory was full. Oh, dummy. Well, whatever. Let's drop some stuff. All right, let's go exploring and see if we can't find something fun to tame. There's lots of fun things to tame. Lots of things that are way more fun than a stupid Carno. Hadn't gotten that one yet. Okay. Trying to keep tabs on which explorer notes I have and haven't gotten yet. I'm trying to be strategic a little bit so that I can, whenever it's time for one of my best tames, one that I will use a lot, hopefully being a Thyla, that I've got plenty of explorer notes left. All right, let's go Yudi hunting real quick and see what we can find. Oh, and from the last video, if you remember, there was that Karcha. That's a lot easier to say. So the question is, what should we do with that thing? Should we just get rid of it, kill it, or should we try to tame it? See all these saddles that you get from blue drops and whatever that you're never going to use? Those are great resources if you have an industrial grinder. I'm just saying. I'm making the case that industrial grinder is one of the best things to put in your base, especially for a solo player. Where is that Karcha? Where was it? Was it on the other side? Oh no, it's right there. Here I'm looking for it. It's kind of cool looking though, isn't it? Man, what do I do with this? I've got to think about what to do with it. All right, so right there is the ice cave that you can take a dino into. And I would recommend, like what I'm going to try to do, is a bred and imprinted Uteranus. You can take a Thyla in there, and it's okay as long as you've got a really, really, really good Thyla. You can take that in there. You are going to have to cryopod in and out of various places, so just be aware of that going in. But man, that cave is got some really, really good loot in it. Get some more pearls. Oh, there is a Baryonyx right there. What are you doing? You're a male level 50. I haven't seen a Baryonyx in a while. Kind of makes me want to tame it just for fun. But, nah. Come on. High level male. That's just a mid-level male. You're not listening to me.
Listen, Linda.
Oh, there's what alpha thing is here? Oh, it's an alpha Carno. Naturally. What do we do with alpha Carnos? We take them out. That's what we do with them.
Wee!
That's all right. What do I have here? What are my current? See, that is 205. Yeah, those will go in the grinder. More metal, more free metal. Well, the northern biome got a little bit boring and I wasn't having any luck there, so I went ahead and turned off the recording and decided that I was just going to go do some exploring through various places, one of them being the swamp, and what you just saw was the first of not one, not two, not three, but 4 new tames that we're gonna get in this video. So yes, this is after the fact voiceover that I'm doing for you, but I saw this level 140 female Baryonyx and I figured I couldn't quite turn it down, so I had kibble on me, so I figured it's the right thing to do would be to go ahead and tame up this Baryonyx because I hadn't seen another one in quite a while, at least not a good one. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and tame this female Baryonyx, level 140. And she goes down, and if you remember in a previous video, if you are kibble taming a dinosaur, a really good tip is to make sure you have whatever raw meat they prefer, and specifically with the Baryonyx, it is only raw fish meat. That is the only thing they will eat. So I figured I'd go ahead and get some raw fish meat to put in her inventory along with the kibble, so that if I put too much kibble in her inventory for her to tame, that she wouldn't eat all of my kibble. She'd go ahead and eat the raw fish meat before eating the kibble when she wakes up. And it turns out that when she woke up, her stats were, they're okay. They're not bad. It might be useful to have her around for maybe just another set of stats, maybe an extra set of the possibility of getting a mutation, if I feel like doing any power breeding on the Baryonyxes. I believe that she only took 2 kibble, so I did end up picking one of them up off of her before she tamed all the way up. And so let's see, let's check out the stats on Miss Baryonyx and then the stats on her. See, they're not really that much different. They're not that much better. They're not that much worse. She's good, but not great, kind of like Miss Baryonyx. She's useful, serviceable, and that's really all you need in any good Baryonyx. So there we go. We've got our 2 Baryonyxes, both female, so We still need a male if we're going to do any breeding on these guys. So, like I promised, before we tamed up that level 140 Baryonyx, that we were going to have a total of 4 new tames in this video. And so, to do that, we're going to go into the northern biome, not on Harley, the Rhynionotha, but we're going to go ahead and take Avery, because I wanted to be able to clear out a whole bunch of megatheriums, but in the process of clearing out the megatheriums, this is what we found. We found a level 150 direwolf who is going to be really, really angry at me for a good long while, because probably it's because we are taking him away from his home and all his friends and buddies. But really, probably, he knows that we're about to shoot a whole bunch of trank arrows into him, and we're gonna make him unhappy before he gets happy. So we're gonna grab our trusty, not rusty crossbow, and we are gonna shoot a whole bunch of arrows into this guy. It is really dark in the gameplay. In post-production here in Adobe Premiere, which is the program I use to edit videos, because I use it as part of my day job actually a lot, so I am actually really good at just editing in Premiere Pro. So I've got the settings, I've got the exposure and the shadows cranked to the max, because in gameplay this was so crazy dark, it was almost impossible to see. And sometimes when it's really hard to see in the gameplay, you might make a mistake or two here or there, which you're about to see a pretty rookie mistake here. So if you have ever wondered what happens if a tame gets hurt while it's being tamed, you're about to see what happens, because as soon as this guy goes unconscious, I land another arrow in him, and it completely wrecked the taming effectiveness. There we go with the brightness. So as soon as I hit him, that meant that my taming effectiveness dropped from 100% all the way to 77.9%. So you have 2 choices at this point, and those are, you can go ahead and just deal with it, and, well, actually, you really have 3 choices. You can just deal with it and go ahead and tame it up anyway. You can go ahead and kill it and counter your losses and just say, yeah, forget it, we're not going to worry about it. Or you can heal it up by feeding it. If it's a carnivore, you can heal it up by feeding it. And then you can wake it up with some stem berries or some stimulant, or just let it wake up naturally, depending on how long it's going to take, and retame it. Just like what happened with that Thyla that woke up and we had to retame it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times knocked it out before we got it tamed. So, in the meantime, I did go ahead and make a bunch of stimulants. I fed him some stem berries, and then we just kind of noodled around Carno Island for a little bit, getting some experience before he woke back up, and we shot some more arrows into him. And of course, as soon as I turn my head and check something on Avery, then down goes the wolf, safe and sound. We are not going to kibble tame a direwolf. We are going to prime meat tame this guy, and because he had spent so much time getting hungry, this guy tames up super, super, super fast. You will notice on the settings or on his stats that he was really low on food, so a few pieces of prime meat, and we're happy. Of course, I try to get on this guy, and his weight stat is absolutely atrocious, which is pretty par for the course with direwolves. He couldn't even move at all. So, cryopod, here we come. Well, and now we are on to tame number 3, and it's not a woolly rhino. It is, in fact, another direwolf. This one is right by my trap that I use for megatheriums and uterannuses. So, we're gonna just let this guy run himself. Actually, this is a her, so we're gonna let this gal run herself right into the trap, and we're gonna be super careful to not hit her with an arrow after she gets knocked out, and we're gonna tame this one up. Pretty uneventful for this one. But it is always a good idea to clear the area whenever you're taming something, especially with things like direwolves, because they'll just decide, oh, now is a good time to come and attack you. So, yeah, clearing out the area of anything that could possibly come and spoil our time and spoil our fun with taming this level 130 female direwolf, who actually turns out to be pretty darn good. And she's up, so we give it a try to see if she can move, and what do you know? Unlike the other one, we can actually ride her straight out of the gate. Her weight stat is a little bit better than the 150 male that we have, so we got good sets of breeding stats to start having some fun. But she can't jump out of the trap, so it's cryopod time. I was actually not looking for anything else to tame while I was just had the video recording and no audio recording here, and getting this yellow drop, which turned out to be, you know, it's just a saber-tooth saddle, nothing exciting. But then there's a direwolf that says, hey, let's play. So I pick it up, and what do you know? It's a 135 female direwolf. So the question really becomes, can we make it all the way back to base with the stamina that we've got? And the answer to that is not quite. We can't make it all the way back. So we got to drop her off. We got to go rest and get some stamina here. We did have to find a, we did have to clear out a couple of Daedons and a Megatherium that was an undesirable. So we get some stamina back. And of course, nothing exciting happened with the Daedons. They just came and attacked. So coming back to get the direwolf and making our way back to base. We're already about 2/3 health, and we're really not that close to base. And so I start wondering, is this gonna work out okay? Because Avery is really getting kind of low on health here, but we make it, and we get the wolf in the trap, even if we are a little bit bloody and super hot because of our Ascendant fur armor that we're wearing. We got not a shotgun, but we got our darts, and so there it is. Taming number 3 direwolf, number 4 for this episode. Not a 1 fur, not a 2 fur, not a 3 fur, but it's a 4 fur. I don't even know if that's a thing. We can make it a thing. So sometimes when you're trap taming a dino or a wolf, as the case may be in this case, that you are fairly certain that they are running, they're torpor running, but they turn around and start charging at you, and so you're like, whoa, is this one actually is it actually running? So the answer was yes, she was running. But this, it can be a little bit, maybe, a little bit nerve-wracking. It puts you a little on edge walking into the trap with the or the dino that you're trying to tame. A little bit iffy. So loading her up with a whole bunch of prime meat, and she will tame up. And due to the magic of editing, y'all don't have to wait for it. It's amazing. There it is. And that is going to bring us to the end of our taming spree episode that was unexpected, unintended, but it was fun nonetheless. We got 3 really good direwolves, and we're going to have a good time making a wolf pack out of these guys. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I am the dad who plays things, and I will see y'all in the next video when we have some really, really fun stuff that's about to start happening.